Up with KREM begins now.
They are unbeaten with history in their crosshairs.
Right now on Up with KREM, it is a great morning to be a Zag after the Gonzaga men beat USC last night in the Elite Eight.
Yeah, this morning we're continuing the celebration, starting with live coverage with Brenna Green and Mark Hanrahan in Indianapolis.
Good morning from downtown Indianapolis, where Gonzaga is heading back to the Final Four.
We spoke with Mark Few, Jalen Suggs, and numerous fans last night about their momentous win.
And we've got a relatively warm stretch as we head through the next few days. We're talking daytime highs up near 60 degrees, but some chilly overnight lows. I'll let you know why.
Well, the Zags are heading to the Final Four. It's our team, our town, our time.
Yeah, good morning. Welcome to Up with KREM. We are pumped today as we're looking at some of the footage of that Final Four feeling after a decisive win by the Zags yesterday, Tim.
Oh, even if you're a little sleepy this morning, you have to wake up with a smile today because the Zags, of course, still stoked about that win. This is video, of course, still feeling that Final Four feeling.
We are joined by a bunch of new friendly faces this morning. Mark Hanrahan and Brenna Green joining us from Indianapolis today. They've got the latest continuing coverage of last night's Elite Eight game, and they're telling us how fans who traveled to Indy are reacting.
Yeah, we're also joined by Karthik Venkatraman here at KREM. He's taking a closer look at Gonzaga's most historic season yet and what the Zags can expect in the Final Four against Joshua's favorite team.
Oh,
is there some sarcasm there?
Yeah. Hey, Brenna, Mark, please take this away. I hate UCLA, and I love that they're the heavy underdogs. Love it.
Yeah, I mean, my goodness, this Zag team is pretty darn good. They are now 2 wins away from a national title. Can you imagine? That'd be amazing.
I believe they are 13-point favorites against UCLA on Saturday. It's somewhere around there. It might be off a point or two, but it's somewhere in that neighborhood.
Right.
So yeah, Joshua, you might not have to worry that much. There is an old adage in coaching, though. Coaches say all the time, we're taking it one game at a time. Mark Few, though, he wants to amend that phrase for this NCAA tournament. He's taking it one celebration at a time.
No, hey, look, man, everybody wants to just keep moving this thing forward, but that's just not how we roll.
Mark Few, in a way, is determined not to roll. He's determined to be present in the moment of making his second Final Four as a head coach.
This is a heck of an accomplishment. We're going to take it and savor it for what it is. That doesn't lessen our desire to win the next game or to win 2 more games, but we're smart enough and or wise enough to know that, these are really, really special times.
Those special times include a special player. Drew Timme once again had a dominant performance. He showed he was no match for USC's Evan Mobley, who many have as a top 5 NBA draft pick. Timme had 23 points against the Trojans and was named the West Region's most outstanding player.
He always figures out a way to get to his shot. And it's not the same shot every time. It's, watching him, it's a different move, different shot each and every time.
Overall, the team's defense shined against USC as well. The Trojans just couldn't get in a rhythm in the first half, and by halftime, the game was essentially over.
When we lock in on that end, we can be excellent. So, that's a piece that we've really tried to improve on. And I think that is, helping us a lot in some of these wins that we've got in the past couple of games.
Jalen Suggs did take a second to reflect on his process of coming to Gonzaga postgame. With a national championship within his grasp, he, like few, knows these are special times.
Looking back on it, this is the best decision I've ever made. I miss football every day, but I couldn't see myself anywhere but here right now.
One of the interesting elements about covering this tournament this year is the coronavirus restrictions, right? The players and teams, they remain in the bubble. Capacity at all the venues, Lucas Oil Stadium, capped at 25%. So you kind of wondered, was there going to be that game time, really excitement, the atmosphere there? And I can say that, yes, yesterday there was.
Yeah, and the small but mighty Gonzaga section in the stands, they were very vocal. They were having a great time yesterday. It was a party at Lucas Oil for them. It was also a party for the fans outside after the game, and you got to talk to them.
I love it. I can't wait for Final Four to see. This next game's gonna be great too, Michigan and UCLA. But the Zags never a doubt from the start.
I used to go to the University of Kentucky too. The best team I'd ever seen till this one was the Rups Reds back in '65. So this is really a great team.
Drew Timme had his weight down low, and I think they could have had 10 guys on the floor, and it wouldn't have made a difference.
What about you?
Yeah, go Bulldogs, Chief, go Bulldogs, Bulldogs.
Gonzaga all the way. Yes, you betcha. Gonzaga all the way.
Is this the best Gonzaga team you guys have seen?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, this is Gonzaga's second Final Four as a program. The last one was in 2017. I was there as a fan, actually.
Yeah.
It didn't quite go according to plan for the Zags, but obviously they've learned a lot from that Final Four, and also, I don't know if they even need to learn a lot from that Final Four. They're so good this year that it just feels like it's clicking on all cylinders. It's just, it feels like a win, not an if, when they win the national championship.
We keep saying historic, and maybe that sounds like we're using that term a lot, but Gonzaga's 30-0 right now. I mean, they have just walked through every one of their games thus far. Their 4 games so far, they haven't even been close whatsoever.
Yes, and just looking for that undefeated season now, the first one in 45 years.
All right, next up for the Zags, UCLA. That game takes place on Saturday. You can watch it right here on KREM 2. Joshua, Tim, we'll send things back to you.
All right, guys, thanks so much. And we also have Karthik this morning. He's breaking down some of the most stats from Gonzaga's historic season. Good morning, Karthik.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Yeah, we all know this has been an incredible season for Gonzaga. When you look deeper, though, you start to appreciate how amazing this team really is. First and foremost, Gonzaga remains undefeated at 30-0. They have won 30 games in 5 straight seasons. That is an NCAA record for the most consecutive 30-win seasons, and they did this in a pandemic-shortened season. That is pretty crazy in itself. The Zags have also won 27 games in a row now by double digits. That extends their own NCAA record. The last single-digit game that they had was earlier this season to West Virginia. And while that one might have been a double-digit win, too, if Jalen Suggs didn't get hurt and miss most of that game, he did return. And, of course, GU closed it out with the win. This is the second Final Four ever for the Zags, as Mark and Brenna just mentioned. The other appearance, as they also mentioned, 2017 in Phoenix. They advanced to the championship game where they lost to North Carolina. However, I will one-up that graphic. The thing about that is Gonzaga's now gone to the Final Four now with this thing that happened last night 2 times in the last 5 seasons. Only 2 other teams have ever done that before, or in the past 5 seasons rather. Villanova and North Carolina, both those teams claimed a national championship in that span. So is GU up next? That's the question.
And Karthik, you bring that point up. We're talking two other colleges that are historically major players in the basketball tournament every year. So Gonzaga really joining some elite company with that new statistic you just brought up, right?
I really feel like people need to start putting, when they mention the blue bloods of college basketball, Gonzaga has to be up there. I mean, the way that they're succeeding, the way that they're recruiting, all these things put together, I mean, they're right there. The only thing they're missing is that national championship, and it seems like they're well on their way to get that this year.
I think they'll do it.
Yeah.
All right, Karthik, thanks so much.
My least favorite part about this is that we have to wait. We have to wait until this weekend for the next game. Come on. I'm not that patient. And hey, if you don't have any sort of patience, I've got a good thing to do in the interim for you, and that's get outside. Early on this morning, it is beautiful out. Not a cloud in the sky, and temperatures on the chilly side, so bundle up if you're heading out this morning. But if you want to enjoy some warm weather, I think noon is kind of the magical hour for when things really start to feel warm across the inland Northwest. It's a lack of cloud cover taking us through the day, and that's what really helps those temps bump up, and they bump up quick. Remember how fast those temperatures rose yesterday? I think we see them rise even faster today. So by the time we get to the noon hour, I think we're in the 50s. That's warmer than where we were all day yesterday. When we hit that 51 degrees there at noon, that puts us at warmer than yesterday. And by the afternoon, I think we do hit that 60-degree mark here in Spokane. And this is just the start of our week of warm weather.
All right, Jeremy, thanks so much. After years without body cameras, most Spokane County deputies are expected to be wearing them by the end of the year.
County officials now say the one thing coming between the sheriff's office having body cameras is money.
there's this real need for transparency and accountability.
Now we'll tell you how a company and Spokane County are coming to a deal to get deputies equipped.
But first, here's a live look at downtown Indianapolis, where the Zags will play for a spot in the finals this Saturday. And again, you can watch that only on KREM 2.